It's weird seeing so much fresh plastic and clean cardboard line these musty old halls. On July 15th, Adult Swim Games, Sony, and the Indie Megabooth partnered to outfit an eccentric old stage venue, the Tabernacle in Atlanta, into 4 stories of game demo stations. Local Atlanta devs showed up alongside other continental US devs to demo their wares, and 2 of these experiences were interesting enough to warrant video coverage. The first being Twincop, because Twincop was cool as hell. This is the first project by Finite Reflections, a young team of recent or soon-to-be recent Georgia Tech grads whose first commercial project has them conceiving the most cooperative game you'll ever play. After a horrifying and disfiguring pontoon boating accident, the 2 top cops on the force got split in half and sewn back together again for a scenario that could have only been inspired by failed early 90s buddy cop pilots. You and a friend wrestle over controlling one character, combining individual abilities and attitudes to giggle over how hard the game is to control together until eventually all that giggling stops and boils into a completely serious test of hardcore tactile skill. Each player controls an arm with a gun and has equal say over which direction Twincop moves, with the slow heal activated if you both move in the same direction. So you're incentivized to work together, but basic gameplay is just some ordinary top-down shmupping, and despite a hell of a lot of cute little animations everywhere, the graphics aren't exactly going to turn heads. This is a game you gotta get a feel for it to land on your radar, because it's the control scheme that turns it into that hilarious test of mastery. Matt and I played through their demo twice. The first time we really stumbled through, dying over and over again until we couldn't beat the boss. The second time, though, crime didn't stand a chance. We blitzed through it, and I feel like that kind of skill curve is proof that there's some meat to the game's bones here.
I'm Kartik Kinney.
I'm Eric Cook.
And we made a game called Twincop. We were out getting drinks for our birthday, and we were trying to figure out just a fun cooperative game idea. And one of the guys on our team just spouted a monologue that became the backbone of our game. Where he was just like, 2 cops separated and combined into 1 cop, and he just went on and on. We were like, okay, we're gonna record that when we get home and just slap that into a prototype, and it turned out to just be really fun. I think we were originally parodying, in that monologue, we were parodying a sketch from Rick and Morty. I can't remember the exact one, but...
Oh my god.
I mean, I think we ran into a lot of the same struggles that I imagine the developers of Octodad and other similar games ran into, where their core mechanic is intentionally comedically fumbly. And so with the bomb minigame that you guys got to play, getting that to be frustrating where you kind of laugh about it, but not so frustrating that you just can't do it.
One of the main things we want to do with the game is pretty much make it impossible for a single person to control it. And so that's kind of where we really deviate from the fumble games, because in a lot of those, one person can kind of take control, and it might not be as important that people work together to do what needs to be done.
Syncing up your thoughts and actions with a partner always feels good, and Twincop is just about the most literal exercise of that challenge I've seen. The 2 of us silently learned how to glide into elaborate circle-strafing moves and dodging charge attacks at the last second. It's a game where learning how to play is all hilarious, silly shenanigans, but executing on what you learn together feels flashy, responsive, and rewarding. And that process was broken up by gags that make the most of this ridiculous concept, right down to the dialogue prompts.
And are there going to be any options for single player at all?
There will be, in the sense that we are working on having a networked ability so that you don't have to have 2 people actively with you to play it. Though I can tell you right now, the best experience is going to be having 2 people sitting next to each other and playing, kind of in the same vein as playing Overcooked or other fun couch co-op games.
So online multiplayer is something you're looking into but don't want to confirm?
We will probably release the game as a couch co-op game and not touch anything with networking, just not to jeopardize the whole thing, but look at that afterwards.
But before we made our way down there, we got handed a slip inviting us to a ceremony. Up at the top of the tower was a room decked out in oriental rugs and pillows. An earthy smell permeated the air, and the maestro led us inside. Robin Arnott is a sound designer whose career in doctoring audio spans both AAA projects like The Force Unleashed 2, as well as more modest stuff like Antichamber, as well as straight-up avant-garde experiments like Deep Sea, an audio-only game where players navigate by sound. I get the impression that since then, this guy's been spending a lot of time indulging in the farthest corners and grooviest substances planet Earth has to offer.
So I'm Robin Arnott, and I'm a creator of really, like, what I've been doing this last 5 years is making this. This feels like the important thing I'm doing for myself and the world right now is making this. I see it honestly as ushering in a new kind of technology or a new use of technology. Game design is a tremendously powerful medium for creation. There's nothing, I think, more powerful in the world for creating structures of intelligence and structures of awareness and consciousness in people. It's just that I think most game designers are using those structures to sort of play the normal feedback loops that we have going on. And what I'm interested in is creating game design structures or structures. How's it going? Come on in.
You guys know where, like, sound room?
Nope, sorry. But I'll take one of those if you're just looking for somewhere to put them.
So you were talking about most game designers sticking to the normal loops.
It's not necessarily just most game designers, it's just the whole paradigm of game design. And the whole paradigm of design in general is a person comes with their normal loops and we reinforce those loops because that's how you engage somebody, is you take somebody's narrative loops, how they experience the world, and you reinforce it or you resonate with it in an interesting way. What I'm interested in doing is the same thing that meditation does, which is using systems and structures of design. Well, meditation, not so much structures of design, but I'm interested in using structures of design and structures of interactivity to actually disengage the narrative mind and actually disengage several of the structures that we're used to just carrying with us in day-to-day life.
So I took a deep breath, opened my mind, and got ready to pass into the iris.
So after your next deep breath, we're going to tone together.
We're gonna tone?
Like,
Is a grunt okay?
yeah.
Gotcha.
You ready?
Yeah.
So I do also think of this as a game, and I don't usually talk about it as a game because that confuses people.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, what draws me to a game is something novel and interactive and fun that gives me a sense of something, you know? But it's the interactivity that to me draws me to an experience. And I think that when I show this to people, they love it, you know? Often I show this to gamers who would never think they want something like this because they think that they want something with an end goal or they think they want something challenging. But all end goals and challenges do is structure your awareness in a certain way. And what they're actually chasing is how it feels to have your awareness structured in a way that is that takes you out of your normal structures of awareness. And that's also rewarding and engaging and fun. So you don't need, as a designer, I don't need to do the same things that designers have been doing for hundreds of years to structure a person's awareness. Instead I'm going through the body.
A more, earthly explanation of SoundSelf would be that it's less of a video game than it is a therapeutic VR app for relaxation and meditation. A peripheral perusing, kaleidoscopic display of colors, warp, zoom, swoop, swap, fade, and pan in and out to the tone of your voice. Pitch, volume, and tone affect a concurrent display of movement in different ways, but somewhere deep down inside of my psyche there was still that urge to play. To use my voice to manipulate those colors just to see what would happen. It's partially thanks to a cup of tea, a couple minutes of deep breathing, and a lot of silence before he straps you in. The effect is almost like closing your eyes and noticing the splashes of colors you're going to see anyway behind your eyelids, but this time being able to manipulate them in a different way than usual. Time flew by faster than it felt. Apparently I was in there for 12 minutes, but to me it felt closer to 6. My muscles melted. Eventually I couldn't feel my limbs. Until, after a while, I wondered if something else was supposed to happen and if we were actually done.
Am I good?
I think you're good.
So in any case, it seems that the proper preparation here helps our Knott's experience definitely trigger 10 to 15 minutes of soothing, deep relaxation. Or, maybe I just need a better sleep schedule. In any case, he has a recommendation for how to make it work better.
But imagine doing that at home for 40 minutes when you've had, space to set some candles and surrender into the experience. And yeah, it gets wild. But that's why I'm serving tea. I serve tea here because it's a little mind altering. But I think the best combination is just a little bit of marijuana.
Oh yeah?
Just a little bit. Yeah, you don't need to be high. You're just a little bit toasted, enough to disengage your normal loops. Enough to make things just a little different to how you usually experience them. That really primes SoundSelf to take you to another planet.
So you're disengaging the normal loops of game design for players who want to disengage the normal loops of their mind.
Exactly. Actually, that's I think that's actually very, very, very well put.
So what did you think?
It was good.
That's it?
No, it was relaxing. How long was I in there for? How long does the camera say?
You were in there for about 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, what did it feel like?
It didn't feel like any time.
Really?
Yeah, just like you just kind of like you see the colors and just kind of blowing it away.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, blowing's real satisfying, huh, Matt?
Yes, and the blowing is satisfying. It's it definitely is peaceful, I would say.